Algebra 1, Section 4.2, we're talking about using intercepts. So basically an intercept is where the line crosses the axis. So here, that was erased, is my x-intercept. Okay, it's where this line crosses my x. And this is my y-intercept, it's where the line crosses the y. So this means that for y, this is, for x, this is 0. So whenever it crosses the x-intercept, that's saying that the other thing is 0. Okay? So my x-intercept, it's some point for x, comma 0, because there's a 0 for y. That means it doesn't move up and down because it stays on the line. And this one would be a 0 for x because it doesn't move left and right. It just moves up and down and then, okay? So those points always have a 0 on the other letter. So, number 1, it wants us to use intercepts. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the x-intercept. And I can only solve a problem, I can only solve an equation if there's only one missing variable. But in this equation there's two. It's y equals negative x plus 4. But because it's an x-intercept, that means that whatever my x-intercept is, my y has to be what? 0. So that means I'm going to put in 0 for y equals negative x plus 4. Now I only have one variable, and that's x. And I'm going to go ahead and solve that. So I end up with negative 4 equals negative x, and I have to divide both sides by negative 1. I end up with 4 equals x. Okay? This doesn't tell me that, what this tells me is that there's a point, my intercept, it crosses my x at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that point is 4, comma 0. Please remember that each intercept has its own point. It's just in the intercept, the other one is 0. So that's what the x-intercept is. The y-intercept, okay, the y-intercept, I do the similar thing, except instead of putting 0 for y, I'm going to put 0 in for x. And a negative 0 is the same thing as saying just 0. And 0 plus 4, 0 plus 4 is 4. So that's telling me on my y, it's positive 4. And my point is, x is 0 this time, but the y is 4. So with those 2 points, I don't need to use that big table I used the last section, and I can just connect my 2 intercepts. And that's how I graph with intercepts. And it's more helpful because then you don't have, a whole bunch of, you don't have a whole, that big graph to worry about. It's just the reason why we don't use this every time is that sometimes you're going to be facing with intercepts that are not necessarily whole numbers. And so the table will come in handy. So just go ahead and write this down. Do page 240, numbers 2 and 10, 240, numbers 2 and 10, and I will see you in class.